Welcome to the Midjourney Beginner's Guide. First, let's click Join the Beta button on Midjourney.com. This will automatically open Discord if you have installed it. If not, go to discord.com and download it. You can do this on Mac, PC or your mobile phone, but I'm using Windows today. So now we're on the Midjourney server. On the left hand side, I'm clicking on status to check and see if the server is down. When your Midjourney is not working anymore, you can always come back here and see what's going on. You can also look for announcements. It was just recently announced that V4 is set to default. Scrolling down, we can click on different categories where people create images publicly. General 1 through 19 at the moment holds images which have been created on the server here, on the public server. So anyone can see and download the images and also copy and paste your prompts. Just be aware of that, and it also gets quite messy when you're generating images here. It's hard to find them when thousands of other people are making images. So what we want to do is create our own private server to keep everything a little bit more organized. On the lower left hand side, I'm clicking the plus button to add a new server. Then create my own for me and my friends. And then I'm simply giving it a relevant name to keep things organized. You may want to have different servers later on if you create a lot of different images or if you work with other people. Remember, you can always invite other people to your server, and be mindful that if you do that, they can see and download your images as well. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to call it Midjourney, and then I have this new server here. Then we need to go back to the Midjourney server, and on the right hand side you will find the Midjourney bot. Click on that one and you can add it to the new server that you just created. Choose it from the list and click continue. I'm keeping all the selections by default and click authorize. And then I'm going back to my new server that I created. And now we are ready to go. And the first thing you want to do is type a /. This will by default open a list of available commands. I'm using the command help here to get some more information. You will get links to the user manual and further information on how to use Midjourney. But fear not, I will talk you through all the basics right here so you don't have to read up all of that information online. Now, the most important prompt that you will be using all the time is imagine. So type in /imagine or type in a / and select imagine from the list with your mouse. Both works fine. If you type it in, just hit enter after imagine, which will open a prompt window. So creating an image needs 3 things, or actually 2 are enough already. But let me explain this a little bit further. The first part of the prompt is a description of what you want to generate. In this case, I'm trying to generate a white rabbit riding an orange cat. And let's say they're in a garden. And for good measure, I'm gonna say it's a sunny day, or actually daytime. And let's also say there is a blue sky just to keep it nice and sunny and happy. Now you could start describing every little detail that you want to show in the scene, but less is sometimes more. So we will go with this for now, and this is our description part of the prompt. Let's talk about style. How do we want this to look like? Like a photo, animation, drawing, painting or whatever. So in this case I want to make an anime style or manga style image. And I'm using 2 terms here, which is anime style and manga. Note that I'm using commas between style prompts. And in general, I'm using commas between prompts. I'm not using those in the description. That it's not exactly necessary when you have one sentence, but make sure you use them in between prompts to separate them. I'm using 2 prompts, saturated colors and colorful here, and then I'm using a prompt detail to just give it a bit more detail. There are other prompts for that as well, but this is enough for now. This is now the second part of the prompt and describing the style. The last section of prompting would be telling Midjourney very specific technicals of how to render something, of how to diffuse something. I'm using --v space 4 to tell it to use Midjourney version 4. Now, as of this moment, this is not necessary anymore as version 4 has been enabled by default. But let's say you want to experiment with version 3, then you would type in --v space 3. The next one is --AR, which stands for aspect ratio, then a space, and I'm using the aspect ratio of 3:2. You can use that, and you can also use 2:3, which is a vertical aspect ratio. At this moment, version 4 only supports these two aspect ratios. If you try to use other aspect ratios, you will get an error message. Then the last one I'm using here is --Q space 2. This stands for quality, and the number of 2 is the highest quality possible at the moment. If you want to know more about these special prompts, you can just click on the link for the user manual. So let's check our prompt one more time. A white rabbit riding an orange cat in a garden, daytime, blue sky, wide angle shot. I'm using this term to make sure that we get a full body shot of whatever person or creature we are trying to create. Then anime style, manga, saturated colors, colorful, detailed. Special prompts is version 4, aspect ratio 3:2 and quality 2. Once you're done prompting, hit enter and then just sit and wait for the result. Now I'm on a paid membership and I have fast hours, that's what the fast here means. At the moment this could take as long as 3 minutes on average. I've had some really long wait times even with fast recently, and I think it's just due to the popularity of Midjourney and the server being overloaded maybe. But here we go already, first result. We're at 31% of the diffusion process here, and you can see how your image is being formed. Now by default it's cranking out 4 different images to give you an option to choose from, and they are created in low resolution. Alright, let's have a look. I'm going to left click it to open a bigger view, and here's the result. Well, is that what we prompted for? So let's check again. A white rabbit riding an orange cat. White rabbit riding an orange cat. Not really. So we have a cat person, or a girl, manga girl, with cat ears riding a white rabbit. So it's kind of the other way around. And that's the choice of using Midjourney, that sometimes you just don't get what you want. What we need to do here, actually the fourth one here is quite decent, but it's still not what we wanted. So what we want to do now is see what we could change in our prompt to get a different result, or closer to the result that we wanted in the first place. So I'm going to copy and paste the entire prompt that we created previously. I'm typing imagine again, /imagine that is, and then just paste the prompt from before and edit it a little bit. Right, let's try something different. A white rabbit sitting on an orange cat, and see if this one word makes a difference. I'm not going to change anything else at this point, because if you change too many things at a time you may get something entirely different. So let's just take it slow, and I'm gonna do something else as well here. In the special prompts I'm going to use a -- no, and then a space and humans, and the same again for no, space and people, because I'm trying to cancel out the AI creating a person here. We wanted a rabbit riding a cat, and we got a person in there actually, even though the person has cat ears. It's not exactly what we wanted, so let's try this. These two special prompts here are called negative prompts. So whatever you don't want in your image, you can cancel it out by using --no and then whatever you don't want in it. I kinda do like the fourth image that was created though, so I would love to play a little bit more with this one as well, while the new image is generated in the background. So I'm gonna click the button V4. We have 2 rows of buttons here, U1 to 4 and V1 to 4, and the image is counted 1, 2, 3, 4 in this order. Left top, then right top, bottom left and bottom right. That's 1, 2, 3 and 4. So V means variation. So with clicking the button V4, I'm gonna get a variation or 4 variations of this fourth image. U means upscale, and I kind of like the first one too, so I'm gonna click on U1 to upscale the first image. And in the meantime, our new second prompt is diffusing. It's almost done here. And what are we getting? No, not what we wanted actually. We wanted a white rabbit riding on an orange cat or sitting on an orange cat. And it didn't happen again. Let's have a look here at the variation of the fourth image that I wanted. So it's created 4 different versions of that. This first one here has kind of wonky legs, so we're not going to use that one for sure. The second one looks pretty decent. I would say that looks good. The third one, not really. The fourth one could be usable, but no, let's go for the second one. So I'm clicking U2 to upscale that one. And the upscaling not only makes the resolution higher, but it adds more detail too. That's something very important to know and consider. And we will see that a little bit later on why that matters. But no, our second prompt didn't work out. A white rabbit sitting on an orange cat in a garden. And now we get a rabbit and it's sitting on a cushion or something in the garden. Well, that's not what we wanted at all. So this didn't work. What did work is the 2 negative prompts, no humans and no people. So now we don't have a cat girl here anymore. But yeah, it totally threw the AI off and we're not getting what we wanted at all. So let's go back, copy and paste and edit a little bit more and see what we can do. Alright, how about we turn this around, because maybe we can fool the AI since it's done the image the other way around that we wanted to. So let's try and fool it and reverse our prompt here. So I'm gonna say an orange cat riding a white rabbit instead. But let's also maybe delete the negative prompts, or at least one of them, because I thought that cat person looked quite cool before. And the thing with AI is that it will interpret your prompts. It will not do exactly as you say, even if you use a lot of prompts and a lot of details. And that's actually a good thing, because sometimes the AI will just create something that you didn't think of, or in bigger strokes, let's say, the AI will give you something that you were imagining, but it will add some details that you would never have come up with in the first place. Okay, by now our upscaled image that I liked early on is done as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, it looks cool, but it's different. Something is different. Can you tell? She has a lot of feet now, more than usual, right? It looks a bit weird. And also there's some strange weird eyes or whatever that is on whatever is on her back. So there's more detail. And through the upscaling process, it added more detail. Let's check the original. You can see the number of feet of the rabbit is the same, but, well, she's not the same. Her feet are different and there's more feet and there's some weird stuff going on the back, whatever that is, a saddlebag, or I can't even recognize it. The shape has changed a little bit as well. Just let's go back and have a look. Yeah, so it's not the same. It's just not the same. And in the preview, lower resolution image, it just looks way better. So what you could do if you don't like the upscaled image, cut out the image that you want and put it through Gigapixel AI or some other upscaling software. That would be a good solution in my opinion. Now, we created a variation of this image as well, and I like this one quite a bit. But you can also see it has changed certain things when we did an upscale. But in this case, I think it looks good. There's an object flying in the air, it's hovering there. I don't know what it is, it kind of looks cool. I could easily retouch and edit this out in Photoshop or some other image editing software, no problem at all. The face looks really good. The eye color of the girl is not the same on both eyes, unfortunately, but also really easy to retouch and fix. She has some tiny kitten or something sitting on her head. I don't know, could be an octopus. You see these long white arms. It's weird. You could retouch it as well, but I'm happy with this for now, and let's check our new image that we generated. Now this looks much closer to what I imagined before, at least some of them. So we said a white rabbit riding on a cat in a garden. And now at least the second one is, well, it's still not a rabbit riding on a cat. It's a cat riding on a rabbit. But at least we have an animal riding on an animal. That's what I envisioned with this whole thing in the first place. Now I'm quite happy with this second one. And I'm going to do a variation of it. Alright, this is done. Let's have a look. And this is the new one. So 4 new variations. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. It's still not a rabbit riding a cat. I think I kind of like the second one is cool. The third one looks really evil. The little cat riding the rabbit. Let's have another look. I kind of like all of them. And as these things go, I tend to save all of the creations most of the time, which is bad for your hard drive. So in this instance, I'm gonna choose the second one, I think. I like the first one for sure. The first one might be the best one even. The rabbit's eyes on the first one are really expressive. I like the color, they're different as well. So I'm going to upscale number 1 and 3. I think I like those the best. And again, once we've upscaled the image here, we want to go back and check the details to make sure it didn't add some weird extra hands, fingers, limbs, eyes or whatever that we did not want there in the first place and that wasn't there in the low resolution image. Okay, but let's try just one more time and see what we can do with this prompt. A orange cat riding on a white rabbit. Okay, let's change this a bit. By the way, you don't really have to use articles like a or an or the or whatever. The AI is smart enough to figure out what you mean in most cases. And less is always more, just keep it neat and tidy. So I'm saying orange cat riding on white rabbit in garden, daytime, blue sky, wide angle shot, and then anime style, manga, saturated colors, colorful, detail for the style descriptions, and then my technical prompts, V4, etc. Alright, fast forward a little bit. Okay, alright, 31%. At this stage you can actually already click the image. You will see something a bit low resolution, less detail and more soft. Imagine this as like a sketch of something that is not finished yet. You could also save it at this stage if you wanted to, and you can specifically use special prompts to tell the AI you only, for example, want it to diffuse up to 80% or something like that, if you want a more rudimentary, less detailed and more soft look. In the meantime, our previous upscales are done as well. Let's have a look here. The eyes look nice. Yeah, I mean, weird looping tail here on the rabbit, but it looks really cool. I like it, so I'm gonna save this one for sure. So our latest new edited prompt is done, and wow, it is very different this time. So just editing the prompts a little bit and changing it up results in this orange cat on a white rabbit. And we are finally kind of getting a rabbit on the second one here. The first one is, I don't know, is it a rabbit and cat minotaur or something like that? And oh my gosh, look at the fourth one. What is that, a Ferris wheel or a bicycle? I have no idea, but it's a super fail. I do like the third one a lot. I love the orange rabbit here. But before I upscale it, I want to iterate a little bit more by using the V3 button to get some more versions of this. In the meantime, the other second upscaled image from before is done as well. So let's have a look. Okay, alright, so again, proof that the upscaling is adding sometimes unwanted detail. The cat has probably at least 3 limbs too many. It's something that would not be too hard to retouch, but honestly speaking, I don't want to waste time. I would probably rather take the low resolution preview image, cut it out and run it through Gigapixel AI or some other upscaling software, and probably get better results without adding unwanted detail. In the meantime, the iteration of the third orange rabbit here is done as well, so let's have a look at that one. The third one looks kind of evil, the rabbit anyways. They're all kind of cool, but I think I like the first one best. So I'm going to upscale the first one, and then this will be my final image. and I'm quite happy with that. If you want something very specific, it may not always work out, so sometimes you have to make compromises or just spend a lot of time in reiterating, in using different techniques like compositing, cutting out things, retouching, etc. But as far as beginner tutorials go, this should be enough to get you started. Just make sure to smash that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more tutorials and advanced techniques. Thanks for watching, and until next time.